So I will discuss this chapter, that is the real numbers. Before starting this chapter, a few things you should know. That what are the real numbers? So you know the real numbers. All the numbers which are counting numbers are known as the natural numbers, like that 1, 2, 3, 4 up to infinity. All are the natural numbers. Then if you add 0 to the natural numbers, it becomes the whole number. Now all the negative numbers and positive numbers, including 0, are the integers. Now you have the rational numbers, all the numbers which can be written in the form of p by q, or the decimal numbers which are terminating like this, or terminating, non-terminating but repeating. So these kind of numbers are called the rational numbers. Now irrational number also you have studied in your class 9, all the decimal expansions which are non-terminating and repeating, non-terminating and non-repeating, like 1, 3, 4, like the pi, the value of pi is 3.14 and it continues and it is not repeating. So these kind of numbers are the irrational numbers. Now all these numbers can be all these numbers are known as the real numbers. Why they are real numbers? Because all these numbers can be represented in a number line. In the previous class 9 you have studied how to represent a √3, √2 in a number line. So all these numbers can be represented in a number line. That's why they are called the real numbers. But the numbers, like few numbers like -2, √2, these kind of numbers, they are non-real numbers. So they are non-real numbers. These cannot represent in the number line. So that's why they are called the non-real numbers. Now in this chapter you will see few different kind of words you will hear in this chapter. The first one is algorithm. So what is algorithm? Algorithm are the statements, or you can say the statements which are used to solve any problem. So whenever you solve a problem, you give some statements. So these steps are the statements which is used to solve a particular problem in a defined order or defined manner. These are called the algorithms. The next one is lemma. The word lemma means some statements are already proved in mathematics. So if you are using the proved statements to prove other statement, these are called the lemma. One example I'm giving. Suppose you have that Pythagoras theorem, perpendicular square plus base square equals to hypotenuse square. Now suppose you are taking this proved statement to prove something else, so that is known as the lemma. Now here one more topic you have, that is the Euclid's division lemma. So Euclid division lemma, as the name you have, that is the Euclid. Euclid is the name of the mathematician who gave this lemma. And then division, it is related with divide, that's why it is called the division. And lemma, as I've told, lemma is the statement that is used to prove another statement. Now here according to this he said the proved statement he has taken, this is the proved statement, like all the dividend is equals to divisor into quotient plus remainder. This is the proved one. So taking this one, Euclid said if we have two integers like a and b, then a and b can be written as, suppose a is greater than b, then your a can be written as b into q plus r, and where your r will be between 0 and b. It will always be less than b. It will not be equals to b, but it can be equals to 0. So it will be between 0 and b. So this was given by the Euclid. So that was the Euclid's division lemma. Okay, to make this clear, I will give you one example of that. Suppose you have a number, suppose you have two numbers, like one is 35 and another is 22. So now you can see 35 is the greater number. So if you will divide this 35 with 22, so what you will get? Here you will get 13. So now you can see what is the greater number? 35 is the greater number. So 35 can be written as 22 into 1 plus the remainder, that is 13. So this only he said, like whenever you have two numbers, the two numbers can be expressed in the form of A equals to BQ plus R. So where your R will be between B and 0. It can be equals to 0, but it will always be less than B. So that was the Euclid's division lemma. Now taking that Euclid's division lemma, you have one Euclid's division algorithm also. So with this algorithm, this is used to find out the HCF of two numbers or three also you can take. So as I've told before also, what is algorithm? Algorithms are the systematic steps to solve any problem. So that's why this Euclid's division algorithm is there, and that algorithm is to find out the HCF of two numbers. I'll just tell you how to find out the HCF of a number using that algorithm or using that lemma. So here suppose we have two numbers 2, 10 and 20, 55. How can you find out the division? How can you find out the HCF of that? So here always take the bigger number here, so divide the bigger number with the smaller number. So what we will get here, 55 into 3 will give you 165. Now after subtracting you will get 45 here. So here in the second step, what you have to do, this is very important step. Okay, so here as you have seen, this 55 into 3 was 165, then you got 45. Now this is the remainder. Now what we will do, we will take this quotient here. Now again we will divide, so it will be 45 ones are 45, then the remainder will come 10. Now again what we will do, we will divide it again, but now what we will take, we will take this 45, the previous remainder or the previous divisor. So here what we will get, you have to divide it 4 times, you will 40 you will get, so remainder will be 5. Now again what we will do, we will take here the previous divisor, that is 10. So 10, you have to continue this thing until you will get 0. Okay, I hope it's clear. So we had 10 in the beginning, we divided this 210 with 55, so you got here 55 3s are 165, you got remainder 45. Now this remainder will become the divisor, and then the previous divisor you have to divide it with the remainder. So here 45, 10 came, so you have to continue again, this 45 will come here, you will divide it again, 5 came, then again you have to divide this 10, and you finally you got 0. Now you can write this thing as 210 equals to 55 into 3 plus 45, because 45 was the remainder. Now what we will do, we will take this 55 as 45 into 1 plus 10, then here again this 45 will come, so 45 equals to, now the remainder 10 into 4 plus 5, and then this 10 equals to 5 into 2 plus 0. So you have to stop until you will get the 0. So now here you can see, when you have divided this with 5, that time you got 0, so that means 5 will be your HCF. The HCF will be 5 of these two numbers. You have seen, when you have divided the last number with 5, that time you got 0, that means your 5 will be the HCF of this given two numbers. So like this only you can use this algorithm to find out the HCF of any number. You will get questions also to solve or find out. Now the next thing is fundamental theorem of arithmetic. The fundamental theorem of arithmetic is this thing, prime factorization you have studied in the previous class also. You can write any number as the factor of two numbers. Here this is a prime number, and now you can further factorize this one, so this can be written as 3 into 182 then you can further factorize it. It will be 2 into 91, then you can further factorize it, so it will become 7 into 13. So all these numbers are the prime factors of this 1092. Like the same way, if you have to find out this is helpful to find out the HCF and LCM of the numbers. Now the next thing is rational number and their decimal expansion. Now rational number, I've told already, all the numbers which can be written in the form of p by q are the rational numbers. All the numbers which can be written in the form of p by q are the rational numbers, that you know already. Now by the fraction only, by just looking at the fraction, you can tell whether this fraction will be terminating or non-terminating. So for that you have a few things that you have to see. Suppose you have p by q. Now the decimal expansion of this will be, can be terminating or non-terminating. So see what is the condition for it to be terminating. So in the q, if q is factor of 2 or 5 or both, then it will be terminating. Or if it is having any other factor, any other number, means it is a factor of 7 or any other number, 7, 3 or any other number, then it will be non-terminating. So p by q will be terminating only if it is a factor of 2 or 5 or both. I'm just taking one example. Suppose we have 5 by 10. Now you can see the denominator is a factor of 2 and this, so that means the decimal expansion will be terminating. So you can write it as 0.5. Now suppose we have 3 divided by 8. Okay, so here you can see 3, it is 2 to the power 3. So here it is the factor of 2, so that means it is also terminating. So if you will get in the denominator 2 only, 5 only, or both 2 and 5, so it will be terminating. So only this much you have in your first chapter. After